And it looked like we're going into a game between Jackallz SirTractor. You know, I thought I recognized that Matt. It's SirTractor. We have to stop meeting like this. This individual, this caster, I've met in 3 separate tournaments over the same 3 separate weeks. It was a casual, it was a premier, and it was a casual back to back to back.
We'll see which of these casters will decide to mulligan. It's a great way for us to kind of tell what these players are on as they might reveal a little bit of information with these spirits that they expend from their spirit decks. It is a thing to consider when you mulligan. You might be giving info away, but it looks like Jackallz going to start off our round 4 here with a Moss Station in attack position and 2 cards set, passing on over to SirTractor.
Elestrals Season 2 staple Moss Station, I will say that. Yeah. This card is really deceptive as a turn 1 starter because it allows you to put up some offensive pressure early and saying to your opponent, hey, you have to deal with my big body now or this is going to be annoying. It looks like a PTA is going to come down to meet an Elechick, which is going to search out a Demeter. Might be an Earth Mirror.
Not likely to be able to out this Moss Station this turn. Looks like 3 set in the back row, move to the end phase, and Jackallz will pay out the pop on the Elechick, sending it to the Underworld and drawing for turn here.
This Moss Station is a decent wall offensively, but can't really put on a lot of real offensive pressure as it'll go to defense after it attacks. It's going to expend to draw here from Jackallz, and then is going to swing in.
There's a very interesting moment there where it looked like Jackallz was considering re-enchanting Moss to make it swing for 2, but ultimately deciding to expend to draw instead.
I like the idea there of making Moss an 8. That seems pretty decent for getting over any sort of big bodies, but that 1 defense, little tiny booty, isn't too much. And an attack rabbit. I like this strategy here, but another poison tipped arrow. Oh,
brutal.
Wow.
So they very well could be playing out that Demeter and taking out this Moss Station regardless. It looks like they will just move to their end phase, won't commit the Demeter. They're just whittling down Jackall's back row, leaving the Moss Station in defense position, not outing. It looks like we're doing a spirit count here. See what these players are at. Jackall's drawing for turn, swapping the Moss back to attack immediately, and running out a Viserys. That art was clutch back when it was very difficult to get Viseruses.
Oh, yeah.
If you had 3 of the Kickstarter promo packs, you know, that was wonderful.
Yeah, kids these days, they just don't understand, you know.
And passing it back on over to SirTractor, who's going to draw for turn, make their considerations. Very interesting. Both players the same number of cards on their boards, but SirTractor fully loaded up on counter runes, going to rip the Laurels, which will take out the Viserys. Incredible value here. Viserys did not have anything to connect with. No Elestrals to take out means that Viserys isn't getting out a second one. And so Laurels is pretty killer here. Just a very small defense stat on this Moss Station. And SirTractor, all they have to do is breathe. And it looks like they're going to go for Eddie, likely not declaring the effect here. Probably don't want to declare the effect. Unless they decided to go for defense position Eddie, declare effect.
Earth Enchanted Eddie, you know, saving those water spirits which are from potential tsunamis. I like the line of play here, right? We mentioned earlier the idea that a Demeter could come down to help contest the crab on the rabbit. But what is the scenario that Tractor actually had a Laurels? And Gorgon's Gaze come down to stop the attack of the Eddie, by the way, keeping this Moss Station alive for 1 more turn. I don't think that you're too unhappy about that if you're SirTractor here. You have an Eddie, which is still pretty decent of a beater, 3 back row it looks like, plus Moss Station coming down. And there's a second Viserys. It's just another Viserys coming down and threatening this Eddie. But
not
a PTA coming down too. Call and response answer from these 2 casters here.
There's a wonderful back and forth between these 2 players right now. Just wonderful. Looks like a Demeter is going to come down. Jackallz really wants this Viserys to connect, it appears, to go ahead and get out another Elestral from their deck, another Viserys from the deck in defense position, swinging in the now 6 statted. My brain can't do math.
Looks like it's going to be
and a tsunami.
I think what's so funny about this play is even if that Viserys connects and the poison tipped arrow is able to destroy 2 defense position Elestrals on the side of Jackallz, there's no Arcalith coming down. We're not getting Arcalith jump scared. It seems like this game is both so tight, but also so in SirTractor's control. Any sort of clear on this Moss Station since the start of this game. And look at this Moss Station of their own.
It's incredible opportunity for SirTractor to really take board state here, swinging with the Eddie over and swinging for 1 damage, then swapping that Moss to defense position. Jackallz really potentially on the back foot here, down 3 whole spirits. Last card in hand, Eddie, Earth Enchanted.
Eddie.
Poison
to Darrow. Darrow, I think it's pretty massive, honestly, if I had to guess. Gonna try to swing on the Mustache. You take that down. You don't really feel too bad about that. Plus the expend to pop that Eddie, and now you're still in a pretty good spirit differential.
Jackallz, going quite down quite fast with all those PTA casts. SirTractor starting to join them with their own PTA casts. It looks like SirTractor is going to be expecting to draw here. 2 cards in hand, don't have an Elestral, but they're still going to be able to poke in for 1. And an Ambrosia going to come down. That's massive for them here.
What I love so much about this seemingly Earth mirror here is that it's very rapid, right? Both these decks are trying to just keep tempo and trying to establish board control as fast as possible. And this is something that I think that right now SirTractor has slowed it down to enough of a pace to where they are in the driver's seat. And Jackallz, I think, will have to find some way to come back. A 3rd Viserys will be it.
I certainly will appreciate here that both these players, not only are their decks going fast, they're both playing at quite a rapid pace here. Respecting that this time, there is a time limit in the round, and they want to make sure that they're able to finish their game. And they're making their decisions quick, and they're playing well. Jackallz is going to go ahead and another Earth Eddie. Have we seen a single correctly enchanted Eddie?
As
it attempts to swing over with 7 attack, Demeter buff. We'll see if SirTractor has response to this Eddie attack declaration. It's a 7-4 right now, and a Gorgon's Gaze to prevent it. Starting to equalize the difference, but Jackallz probably feeling a little rough here. Only 1 set, a 4-1 on board, and SirTractor every opportunity in the world. After expecting to draw last turn now, I believe 3 cards in hand. Playing a Mudlet, that'll do it.
We can say that's a properly enchanted Eddie, right? That's Mudward. That's Mudward right there.
Yeah, that's Mudward right there. Yeah, we found Mudward. Yeah. Finally, the sequel to Edward, Mudward.
And looks like Jackallz is going to be flipping potentially a Gorgon's Gaze here to force a trade from this other Earth Enchanted Eddie, putting Jackallz down to 2 spirits, where SirTractor is sitting at a company 5. That Mudlet's putting in a lot of work, and we have not losing any sort of advantage. There's that Demeter held the entire time. That looks absolutely killer. And now with a clear board and an open heart, Jackallz got to find the cards necessary to take out this board. And it looks like that's going to go to game 2. Yep. SirTractor taking it inside of this Earth Mirror. And it looks like we're going to start off with Jackallz here on the Mustache again. The little Mustache that could, this little crab, is going to be a big offensive force. Last time we saw this thing stick around for far too way long.
Did it leave the field?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This consumed game 1.
It had to at some point.
Oh, it looks like the big wall is going to come down to a tiny little Mudlet. Mudlet swapping the defense of the Mustache back and forth. We're talking about how even that first game was, and this one is looking pretty similar. Now with an Equilink, so it looks like it's Artist Pack Equilinks.
Gorgeous card. Great option for those of us that cannot afford a seller Equilinks. And it's just going to go ahead and swing right on over that Mudlet. Still, no back row. SirTractor, the first to draw blood of setting a back row with a Viserys, who will easily clear over this Equilinks and cast a second copy of itself from the deck in defense position. This is where momentum starts to pick up. This is where Jackallz has to respond and clear these 2 Viserys, or it might just be SirTractor's game to lose at that point. Viserys, such a critical card.
Honestly, a Laurels here, a Cryoblast could be big. It looks like we see come down.
Is that a Synectar?
Be a Synectar?
There's no way that's a Synectar.
Stellar Synectar, I think it looks like. Beautiful card, by the way.
Poison Tunic! No way!
This better be the Gorgons.
A Synectar trigger.
No Gorgons.
And we will be ascending into the Wasp Ivy unaffected by counter runes as it was ascended by Synectar's effect. There's no way!
Jackallz, be still my beating heart. Wasp Ivy coming down after Poison Tunic cast here. This is quite wild. Okay, so here's the
Stellar
Wasp Ivy
dripped out Jackallz.
And the fact that the Poison Tunic as well is going to be able to deal extra spirit damage, this Wasp Ivy is just going to wreak havoc on this board. Viserys is too small to get over. That 8 attack body is huge on the Wasp Ivy. You gotta love it.
And that's going to be a burn of 2 from SirTractor as that Poison Tunic goes to the Underworld, triggering its effect to force SirTractor to expend 2 spirits. And then the 1 from spirit damage, from the 2 spirits under Wasp Ivy, This is looking now like Jackall's game to lose.
You know, I was a little bit worried initially as a mudlet comes down the board. Which, by the way, that'll do it, by the way. Taking out this Wasp Ivy, you're wondering
yeah, never mind.
what's going to be. Tsunami would be huge here. You see Jackallz take a Tsunami. And it looks like the Wasp Ivy comes down.
Wow.
Wow, and just like that, the game is back into SirTractor's favor.
The caster's curse. It strikes again.
I was just going to say, initially I was a little bit worried that there was no counter runes. It was caveman Elestrals, one Elestrals hit over another. But then, you know, all of a sudden, those aren't cards they're holding. That's a game on their hands. This is now back to SirTractor's favor, and I think that Jackallz will have to pull out another Wasp Ivy Poison Tunic combo to kind of get back into this.
Yeah, getting the Viscerus to connect and summon out another one. We're back in the same position, but potentially more scary for Jackallz, as 2 turns ago, Jackallz looks like it's a Demeter going to be going onto the field. 4 spirits under that Demeter. That is an absolutely massive amount of commitment into 1 Divine here, and it looks like we're going for an Equilinx by putting 2 spirits under the Equilinx, which is what it looks like Jackallz is going to go and do here. The question is that back row live for SirTractor now?
Wasn't a Gorgons before. I'm trying to think if that back row was set the turn previously. And it looks like it's an altar of stars.
Oh, that is brutal.
That's one I was not expecting here. Kind of another innovation into the Daybreak meta of Earth utilizing altar to do some cool little tricks. You know, you can Nexus onto the Viscerus to ensure that the Equilinx is put in defense position or goes down, or Mudlet to change position.
I just have to point out what a heads-up play it was from SirTractor there. Casting the Altar of Stars, siphoning a spirit from that attack position Viscerus, and then using the Nexus to put a spirit back under it so that the Mudlet was the one that went to the Underworld. Elestrals are not sent to the Underworld until the end of a chain is resolved, so you're allowed to do something like that where you Nexus back onto an Elestral, preventing it from dying. So an incredibly heads-up play from SirTractor, making sure that Altar was practically free, just losing a Mudlet, and this turn going to go ahead and play their Elechick, getting their own Demeter, which means if they need to, they can just absolutely wash over this Equilinx here.
Viscerus into Visceri, if you will. Swing on this Equilinx. We have an Altar of Stars from Jackallz themselves. I guess trying to save face a little bit and take a little bit less damage here. I don't know how much it's going to do. This tempo is now firmly in SirTractor's favor. It's so funny. We were talking about earlier the idea of that Altar of Stars being so powerful inside of Earth for SirTractor, and Jackallz there seemingly also showcasing how it can be sometimes a last-ditch effort to stay in the game, but it's not enough on that side without another setting 2 and passing from Jackallz here. SirTractor, what do you got?
Those back row from Jackallz just have to be Tsunami. Otherwise, SirTractor is going to just massively take board state here. And that looks like an Equilinx that's going to hit the board here. We know they have a Demeter in hand. Poison-tipped arrow going to be hitting that Equilinx.
The poison-tipped arrow does feel nice to be able to remove the Equilinx, but that Equilinx might be sniping out that other back row. So now pretty safely, the Equilinx can threaten the back row, even if it is Tsunami.
And this is game. Unless that's Tsunami, this is game on board right now.
It's shield.
There's a sum of 6 spirits on board, and Jackallz has 5 spirits left in Spirit deck.
Is that Argo?
That was an Argo from Jackallz.
That was an Argo. I was thinking it was shield. Argo coming down, and I think that's just game. SirTractor takes it with swiftness.
An absolute clinic from SirTractor. Played so well. Just seeing every piece they needed at every single moment, and it's just incredible heads-up play to take it down 2-0 with a absolutely massive board, taking out 6 spirits out of nowhere with that Equilinx Nexus.